Welcome to the Digit Arts channel. Today I will explain the stroke order of Chinese characters. Among many factors of the Chinese characters, I would like to introduce a concept called the stroke order. 필순 or 획순 in Korean. In Chinese, it is called 笔顺. 笔顺. It is a sequence of a stroke based on the movement of writing on surfaces with traditional writing instruments, here referred to as traditional calligraphy brushes. So this is stroke order of Chinese characters. A stroke is a movement of writing instrument on a writing surface. So stroke order is important for writing clear and beautiful Chinese characters. And at the same time, it can be said that it is nothing more than that. However, considering the fact that the history of Chinese characters has nearly 10,000 years, this order of writing should be seen as the result of many people's long thought and debate. Ancestors thought. Here are some general rules to follow when you write Chinese characters. 1. Draw from top to bottom. 2. Write from left to right. 3. Draw the horizontal first, then draw the vertical. 4. Draw the outside first and fill the inside later. Then take a look at the example of first one, from top to bottom. The first example is a letter that means piercing. Even if you are new to this letter, you may draw it from top to bottom naturally, I think. Shall we try to write it together? Okay. From top to bottom, like this. From top to bottom. Okay. Then take a look at the next one. Can we draw the line again? Okay. From top to bottom. It just means curved line. It is called pie or 별 in Korean. Okay. Take a look at the next example. This letter means 8 in number, but this time let's also apply the order of stroke left to right here. Left to right, from top to bottom. Okay. The letter which stands for water is also an ideal way to write beautifully by writing down the middle stroke first and drawing it left and right. How was it? It isn't that hard, is it? Okay, let's move to the second rule. The second rule is, as I mentioned earlier, to draw from left to right. The first letter is a Chinese character meaning 1. Write from left to right. Let's write it together. Left to right. Okay. The second letter is a Chinese character meaning land or soil. Draw from left to right. Draw a vertical stroke and finish with a horizontal stroke left to right. The third example is an image of a knife with a handle. Let's write it again. Blade, knife, 1 and 2. It's pretty easy, huh? Okay, let's move to the number 3. Horizontal before vertical. The third rule is to draw horizontal line first and then draw a vertical line later. If you look at the first letter, you can see that there is one vertical line in the middle, and this is the last stroke to be drawn. I'll write it myself. Please look at the order of stroke carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and finally 7. So, finally, draw a vertical line. It means string or skewer. Okay, let's take a look at the second example. The second letter is also a way to finish by drawing the vertical line in the middle, and this is the last stroke to be drawn, this line. I'll write it myself again, according to the usual order. It means thing or an accident. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Vertical line in the middle. Can you see it? Okay, let's move to the fourth rule. The fourth rule is to write the outer stroke first and then to fill in the inside. The first example is a letter that represents a mouth of a man or an entrance. Okay, let me write it correctly. 1, 2, and 3. It isn't that hard to write, right? Okay. This letter is an example for the next letter, so please take a look at the next letter. It is a letter that means spin or rotate, that embodies the appearance of a vortex of water. Like this, or like this. It is common to write the outer stroke first. 1, 2, and 3. Then follow the order of filling and in the inside. 1, 2, and 3. Finished. And then take a look at the third example. This is a letter that describes the appearance of a map used in the war and has a meaning of a map or picture. If you write this letter, you can intuitively see that it's much more convenient to draw the outer periphery first and fill in the inner part. Let me write it correctly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. It has a simplified feature in Chinese or in Japanese, but in this video, I will omit the detailed explanation about that. Okay. And finally, I'll explain other rules for stroke order. Just as there are exceptions to every rule, there are many exceptions or anomalies in the order of stroke. In addition, there can be different stroke orders depending on the country and region, and even depending on the individual's taste. Among East Asian aphorisms, similar to the English word saying, seeing is believing, is the famous saying, it's much better to see in person than to hear an explanation. So, here's an example. This is a letter derived from the shape that the turtle shell, so called oracle bones, was heated to see the split and predicted the future. It is common for this letter to start with a vertical and then draw a write down point or a line. Can you see that crack? So the ancient people see this crack and can foretell or predicted the future. Believe or not. Okay, let's move to the next example. It means house or a roof in Chinese, and it is common for the this letter to start with vertical stroke twice, 1, 2, and 3. It's a single letter that embodies the appearance of the house of roof. This order would be quite confusing for beginners, right? So you have to just practice, exercise to be accustomed to this order of stroke. Let's take a look at the next example. It means small or little, but it is common to write down the center's part standard first to draw the left-right symmetry. So first vertical line and left-right symmetry effectively. So it is common to write down the middle stroke first and draw left-right strokes. It is also a little complicated, right? And in the case of this letter depicting the image of fire, it is common to draw the dots on the left and right first. It's a little complicated and confusing. Left and right. Then 2 strokes in the center. 1 and 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So even people in the Chinese character culture are confused sometimes. It means fire or anger. Not because its stroke order is confusing. Okay, it just means fire or anger in Chinese characters. So after all, the order of strokes has a basic order, but it's just an order of ancestral experience to write letters efficiently and beautifully. And we've just taken a quick look at the fact that there are any number of exceptions. So here are some more examples. The order in which the last stroke of this letter is written shows some differences between Korea, China, and Japan. So I say there are also some variations and exceptions depending on the country, region, or style of writing. In this letter, I mean this part. It is 9th stroke in China, but it will be 10th, the last stroke in Korea. And this is a simplified one of a country or nation. In Korea or Japan or in Chinese, the vertical line stroke order is different. This one. Let's take a look at some more examples. This letter is modeled after the shape of a field for growing crops, and the order that follows in Korea and China and the order that follows in Japan are different. Of course, it's not a very important factor, but the order of writing stroke may vary depending on the region or country. I'm going to write it here. In Korea or in China, they usually write this letter like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4. Remember this? But in Japan, they prefer to write this one like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4. Can you find the difference? Okay, let's take a look at the other one. It means field for growing crops. Next one. This letter, which emphasizes two breasts on a woman sitting on her knees, also shows that the order of stroke in Korea and Japan and the order in China are different. I write it myself. Okay, in Korea and Japan, we just write it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, and 5. I'm a little confused. Okay, but in China, they like to write it usually like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you find the difference? Okay, today, it means mother or origin. Today, we learned about the order of strokes. So, does stroke order really matter? The answer will be yes and no. If I choose the answer of yes, I can say stroke order is important for writing clear and beautiful characters efficiently. This means dragon. Okay, if I say no, I will rather answer like this. It's for the efficiency. I mean, the stroke order. Nothing more and nothing less. So today, we've learned about the order of strokes. There may be some confusion for beginners, but in the end, I believe that the more Chinese characters you write, the more natural you will be able to see why this order was passed down over thousands of years. So that's all I've prepared for today. Next time, I will explain the differences in stroke order and the appearance of Chinese characters used in Korea, China, and Japan step by step. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I can see you next time. Bye bye.